You know, our world is jam-packed with these absolutely stunning places to see, right? But hidden among all that beauty, there are these corners of the Earth that are so incredibly hostile, so deadly, they almost feel like they shouldn't exist.
That's a pretty heavy thought. And today, we're going to take a little trip to those exact corners. So yeah, let's just dive right in. We're going to check out 5 of the most dangerous places on the planet. And what's really fascinating is how we'll see the raw, wild power of nature up against the kind of horrors that, well, only humans can dream up. All right, our first stop is in Russia. We're going to a place where the danger is totally silent, completely invisible, and 100% man-made. This is Lake Karachay. Just 1 hour. That's it. That's all the time it takes. If you were to stand on the shore of this lake, which looks pretty normal, by the way, for just 60 minutes, your body would absorb a fatal dose of radiation. We're talking a slow, horrific death as your insides just shut down. So how in the world does a lake become a death trap? Well, during the Cold War, the Soviet Union needed somewhere to dump tons and tons of radioactive waste from a nearby nuclear plant. And Lake Karachay was, convenient. They just threw it all in there, with zero protection. Now, this wasn't an overnight disaster. All through the 50s, the poison just kept building up. But then, in the 60s, a major drought hit. The water level dropped, and all that radioactive sludge on the lake bed was exposed to the air. The wind then picked up that toxic dust and just blew it for miles, poisoning entire villages. The fallout from that was just unimaginable. Cancers, mysterious illnesses. Today, the whole lake is basically a giant block of concrete, a tomb to keep the poison locked in.
People who have been there say the whole area has this strange, empty feeling. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? It's so unnatural, so deadly, that even the animals have learned to stay far, far away.
Okay, so we've seen an invisible, man-made threat. Now let's switch gears completely. We're heading to Ram Ri Island in Myanmar, where the danger is very, very visible. It's ancient, and it has a terrifying bite. Just look at these numbers for a second. During World War II, about 1,000 Japanese soldiers were retreating from British forces. They fled into the mangrove swamps on the island for cover. Out of that 1,000, barely 20 made it out alive.
So what happened to the other 980 men? They ran straight into the jaws of the island's apex predator. We're talking saltwater crocodiles, some of them growing up to 20 feet long. And what they did that night is in the Guinness Book of World Records as the single largest massacre of humans by animals ever.
You see, the soldiers thought they were escaping to safety, but what they were actually doing was walking right into the crocodile's pantry. As night fell, they were trapped in this thick, inescapable mud, and that's when the attack started. The sounds from the swamp that night, the screaming, the gunfire, were described as some of the most horrifying sounds ever heard in war.
I mean, Ram Ri Island is just this brutal, brutal lesson. It's a terrifying reminder that when you're up against the raw power of nature, sometimes all our advanced technology means absolutely nothing.
For our third destination, let's head over to Cameroon, to Lake Nyos. And here, we're dealing with a danger you can't see, you can't hear, and you can't smell. At least not until it's way too late.
Okay, so Lake Nyos is sitting right on top of a volcanic crater. Deep down, carbon dioxide from magma is constantly seeping into the water, building up an incredible amount of pressure, like a giant soda bottle being shaken. Then, one night back in 1986, something, we think maybe a landslide, triggered a sudden release. A huge, invisible cloud of CO2, which is heavier than air, just erupted from the lake. It then rolled down into the nearby valleys, like a silent wave, pushing all of the oxygen out of its way.
The result was absolutely catastrophic. Over 1,700 people and 3,500 farm animals basically died in their sleep, suffocated without a sound. When rescuers got there, the scene was just chilling. They found bodies everywhere with no signs of a struggle, like people had just stopped breathing. And in the direct path of that cloud, there were 0 survivors. Not a single person, not a single animal, not even an insect.
Next up, we're taking a trip to a place that seriously looks like it's on another planet. The landscape is so alien and so hostile. Its nickname is literally Hell on Earth. Welcome to the Denical Depression in Ethiopia.
The thing about this place is that it's not just one thing that's dangerous. It's everything, all at once. The heat is just crushing, often over 122 degrees Fahrenheit.
The air itself is toxic, full of poisonous gases that literally burn your lungs. The ground is a minefield of boiling acid pools and thin crusts that could break at any moment, dropping you into lava or acid. And if all of that wasn't enough, it's a completely lawless area, so you need armed guards just to protect you from bandits. But here's the crazy part. It is bizarrely beautiful. The vibrant yellows and greens from the sulfur fields, it's visually stunning. It's just this perfect, terrifying reminder that our planet isn't always trying to take care of us. It can be a creator and a destroyer all at the same time.
Okay, for our last stop, we are leaving the natural world behind. Because this final place isn't a natural wonder or a natural disaster, it's a city. It's a hell built not by geology or biology, but by pure, uncut human greed. We're going to La Rinconada, Peru. So to really get a handle on this city, you have to start with the altitude. At 16,700 feet, La Rinconada is the highest city in the world. To put that into perspective for you, that is almost as high as Mount Everest Base Camp. For most of us, just breathing up there would be a constant, painful struggle.
People go there for only one reason: gold. But the price they pay is just devastating. The miners use mercury to get the gold, and it has poisoned everything: the air, the water, the people. There is no police force, no sanitation, nothing. It is a completely lawless place where crime is just a part of daily life. So people show up chasing this dream of getting rich, but they end up trapped by debt, by sickness, and by the slow mercury poisoning that's destroying their bodies.
This place isn't some act of God. It's a disaster we built, piece by piece. It's a living, breathing tragedy, showing us exactly where our own greed can take us. So our tour ends here, and it really leaves us with one big question, doesn't it? We've seen the planet at its absolute most hostile, just this raw, indifferent force of nature. And then we've seen a hell that we carefully built with our own hands.